I am not a binge reader, but sometimes these books come along and they just grab me. Hey everyone, my name is April, and today I want to give you guys some recommendations for some series that are quite addicting, where I could not read the next book right away. Like, some of these have maybe cliffhangers that absolutely I had to go right into the next book for, but most of them were just so enjoyable that I just wanted to keep reading. So let's get on with the list. The first series I want to talk about is the Shatter Me series. I have this entire series somewhere up on a shelf, but I'm just too lazy to get it down. In this, you follow Juliet. Juliet cannot touch anybody, otherwise she kills them. Through this series, you kind of just keep branching out more on why Juliet is the way she is. Spoiler alert, she has powers. And along the way, she meets a lot of other people who have powers too. So this is a dystopian YA romance, and really book 2 and 3 is where it's at with this series. However, Tahara Mafi recently came back and added 3 more books to the series, and I gobbled those up as well. This series is one of those where I either really love the book or I really hate the book, but either way, it's an enjoyable time to read. So I really love it. It's one of my first series that I was absolutely just had to read the next book. Thank God I read them when they were all out already. So yeah. The next series gave me Shatter Me vibes for reasons. And it is the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. In the first book, you have a heroine who is running away from her fated mates type people. They call them bonds. She is bonded with 5 men. And they are trying to find her. They're trying to get her back home because she is running from them. She has, again, a power where she can inadvertently kill people, so she's scared of that. There's also this dystopian society with rebels and a resistance, that kind of thing. But this is an adult Why Choose novel, so in each book you kind of learn more and more about each of the men that she's with. And listen, it's not the greatest, okay? You are kind of just dropped into this world, and you will have more questions and answers by the time you are done reading that first book. Also, the first book does not have any sex scenes in it, so just be aware. However, it is so addicting. I just really wanted to read each and every single one of them, and I absolutely have favorites with the men, but I also enjoy them all while I was reading. So, love that series. The next series that I found completely addicting and I could not stop reading is the Phase Captive series by Lily Archer. Lily Archer has become one of my favorite adventure style fantasy romance authors, and this series is a series of novellas that almost feel like just chapters in a full-length novel. There are 6 books, but the first 3 are with one couple and the next 3 are with another couple. In the first one, you have a girl who is drugged by her college roommate and taken to a distant land. So it's kind of like a portal fantasy thing, and she immediately meets this Fae king, and he is like, "You're my mate." And he is such like a caveman style mate. He then has to kind of break her free from wherever she is, and then they go on a adventure romance trying to get back to his kingdom. And the whole time you're just meeting new characters. And the third book is one of my absolute favorite creatures of all time. It's a unicorn. However, he's a very crude unicorn, and he is one of my favorite characters ever. So yeah, all of these books are like around 100 pages or so. And then when you put them all together, it's like a full-length novel. So I really enjoyed that with them. So it just kind of felt like I could read each one of them in one sitting. And so I think that also really enticed me to read more. The next addicting series is one that I just read the first book of, and I am dying to read the next book of. However, I need to wait because we're doing kind of a read-along thing, and that is the Make Games series. And this again is recommended to me by Maggie, and we just recently had a live show with this book, everyone started it at the same time, and it was so fun. This book is like a rejected mate's story. So the girl here, she rejected her mate at 16 and now they're like college age or whatever, going to this paranormal Hogwarts. And the men, you have a vampire, a wolf shifter, a demigod who is very much like Chris Helmsworth, and then a priest daddy. And I just freaking love it. I cannot wait to read all of them. The audiobooks is what's making this addicting to me. It's a full cast audio and all the men are lovely, especially the priest because he's Irish and I love it. The next one on this list that I want to recommend is the Never King series, which is actually the Vicious Lost Boys series by Nikki St. Croix. This is a dark romance retelling of sort of a more like a reimagining of Peter Pan. So you do have Pan, he's very vicious. You have some lost boys. Down the line you have the crocodile, and then you also have Captain Hook, and it is this whole world that is dark and brutal and so hot. I'm not usually into retellings, but I think because this is more like a reimagining, I really enjoyed it. The next series that I just gobbled up because I just love it so much is Kingdom of Stars and Shadows, and this is by Holly Renee. Now this one, the reason I think I love it the most is because it is a fantasy romance, but it is very light on the fantasy portion. You don't get a lot of the world building, and I'm actually kind of glad for that because sometimes that's the downfall of fantasy romances. There's too much world building and I'm not quite reading a full-on fantasy. I want the romance part of it. I think what makes this addicting to me is Prince Everett and his dirty mouth. I just couldn't get enough of it. He is very blunt in what he wants from her and what he likes about her. And man, do they get it on right away, and they get it on quite often. I really enjoyed the first 2 books. The third book, not so much. It got kind of repetitive. However, I still eat this up and I cannot wait for the next one. The next one is actually going to follow a different couple, and I just cannot wait for the next book from Holly Renee. And the last book on my Addicting series recommendations is Criminal Intentions by Cole McCade. Again, the 2 leads in this show do it for me. Both of these are a male-male romance. However, they are partners, so not a lot happens between them, but there is this tension and angst between them that is just so wonderful. And they are trying to solve murders surrounding the gay community. So it is so good. So each of the episodes, they call them episodes, is very insular and they'll always be wrapped up. However, you do have this like overarching romance that goes along through the whole thing. And I can't wait to see what happens next with these 2. So there you go. Those are a few of my addicting series that I really love to read. And some of them I still need to read more of from them. So if you have any kind of series that you just absolutely gobbled up and needed to keep reading, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you next time. Bye.